located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
817 Guns in the 701. Clay, the man with the biggest handshake, the most strong handshake you'll ever get. If you ever see Clay, have him shake your hand, but just be ready. One, you may not get your hand back.
Hey, I was taught that a long time ago. A good firm handshake kind of sets the tone, don't it?
The last man that shook my hand that strong was my late grandfather. Not the drunk one, the other one, the good one.
The other one, the good one, yeah.
I never shook the drunk grandfather's hand because it would probably be all sticky anyway.
Oh, no. We won't even go down that
rabbit hole. I know, right? I mean, just... As a child, you just think, no, I don't want to touch him. I might catch on fire. No. But the good one, the guy that worked at, the grandfather worked at Hormel, or as we call it outside of Austin, Minnesota, Hormel, as we all mispronounce it. It's Hormel. Over to Hormel's, yeah.
You betcha.
He worked there for 30 some odd years, and yeah. Don't ask about spam.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And it's nothing like it used to be anyway. So yeah.
No, we have it all the time. It's fine. It's good. I don't know what everybody's phobia is, but it's like sausage. It's like you don't want to know, just eat it and love it.
I don't ask what's in it anymore. Right?
Well, and if you really want to be scared, read the ingredient label on plenty of things you might be eating.
Oh, yeah, it would definitely shock you to see what's in a lot of our food. Well, and that's a whole nother subject.
Exactly. I mean, in 1937, when they were putting Spam together, we didn't have all these fake ingredients we have now.
Yep.
Absolutely. At least it was actual ingredients. Granted, it may not have been intended for human consumption or not, but they came up with a way and it worked, and it's fine.
Real good stuff.
If you're ever going through Austin, Minnesota, make sure you stop at the Hormel Museum because it is well worth it. But
might have to do that.
I was mentioning that there's got to be some sort of Christmas gift idea within this first story. 7 pro-gun ear surgeons create national sound suppressor policy. Now, shouldn't there be like a ear surgeon approved suppressor that you buy for Christmas so people out there?
There we go. Now, there's a marketing deal, isn't there?
Right. I mean, that's what I'm getting at here. I think it should have the seal of approval. Like you have the good housekeeping seal of approval for home cleaning or whatever stuff. Then you have that for hunters and, Second Amendment enthusiasts and stuff.
Well, maybe we have to work on this group called what? The American Academy of otolology. Is that how you pronounce that? Head and neck surgery?
Otolaryngology. Yeah. I know. Boy, there's a word none of us are going to use in regular conversation. Holy...
There's your word of the day.
Holy crap. Usually I can figure out how to pronounce a word when I see a word, but...
Yeah, that one's kind of
That's
out there, isn't it?
Otolaryngology.
Yeah.
Otolaryngology.
It's one of them ologies.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, that one's a mouthful.
Why even use the word? Doesn't somebody go, that is too big a word, we need something a little more concise here? Less is more.
Call it American Academy of Hearing and Throat Specialists or something.
Exactly. Because nobody is born knowing what that word means.
No,
just
I
say what, because otherwise everybody's going to ask anyway, so you got to say it anyway. Just say it in the first place.
There you go.
All right, off the soapbox, Todd.
Yeah, I just thought this one was great, though. They've tried this before. As we all know, suppressors help. I mean, no matter what, when you're shooting, it's just a good hearing protection item. It truly is. And I mean, we are one of the only countries, get this, anti-gun countries or ones that don't have our freedoms, like Britain, Africa, a lot of other countries. You can buy them just like any other accessory to your firearm without any $200 tax stamp, a background check, and and being fingerprinted. I mean, we're the only ones that classify these as the NFA item, which is a National Firearms Act item. So to me, this makes sense. And these guys have been working on this for a long time. This isn't the first time that they brought this policy to this to this organization we can't pronounce. But they finally got it through. It was always kind of rejected, saying, "Oh, these guys are just gun nuts." You know, we're all gun nuts, aren't we? If we support the Second Amendment. There you go. You put it through there.
Otolaryngology.
Now, if we need it slower, I could put it on slow.
Low mo.
And then
Otolaryngology.
Otolaryngology. Now I can't get it out of my head.
I have to have a little song for it.
Otolaryngology.
So there's the word. Weave that into the conversation today.
Oh, my goodness.
I got to remember that for next time we have one of those, when they say the secret word, be the 10th caller things.
There you go, otolaryngology. There
Can you imagine Daryl Lee's having to say that in the afternoon?
Oh, that'd be funny. Yeah, Daryl would love that.
Don't give him a pronouncer or anything. Just spell it out.
That'd be great.
Although you could do the same thing I do and, search it out in a search engine, but still.
But yeah,
it's one of those things that scares you as you look at it and go, "Oh crap! I should have pre-read this."
Yeah, it's. I've seen that. Am I going to try to even pronounce that? But let's face it. It's about hearing. I mean, that's what they do, I believe.
Well, it's your larynx too, though. That's why the laryngology thing.
Yeah.
So it's not just that. But that said, like we were just talking about, since you have to explain what the heck it is anyway, why don't you just use a term that you don't have to explain?
Right. Exactly. The nice thing about them is that they are kind of a renowned, they're a respected association, which I was actually kind of shocked to hear. And I never heard of them, but in
well, the you have to be able to say that word the first time to be a member. They better be respected.
Exactly. So having them on board to basically get the Hearing Protection Act through, that's going to be a great thing. I still think that it's got a long battle within Congress, but having these guys on board is going to help. And I mean, they just made a real simple position that sound suppressors, they're mechanical devices, they're attached to the barrel of a firearm designed to reduce harmful impulse noises. Pretty simple. I mean, there's some other things in there, but it's a suppressor is a tool. And I don't know if you've ever been behind a suppressor, Todd, but it makes a heck of a difference, all the way around. I mean, to me, it's probably the most useful tool you can put on your firearm to reduce sound that's going to protect your hearing. And my hearing's bad enough as it is. So
what?
Take advantage. Yeah, what?
You realize 50 doctors are laughing at us now? They can't even say that on the radio. You believe those guys? Why don't they know how to pronounce that? Because none of us went to med school. That's why.
Have them call in and explain it to us.
Clay
did
Peterson
see
goes to
that-
the 701 825 at K-Fire. Oldest firearm in the U.S. unearthed in Arizona. What? 500 years old?
That's what they're saying, yeah. And I can tell you, I'm going to give you a little why I even included this. This is going to be a huge thing, I imagine, when you go to defend Second Amendment rights and laws and things. And we've got one coming up from Alabama here that we're going to talk about. But to defend Bruin and base it on Bruin, because the Bruin decision, like we all said, it basically changed the entire landscape. This will show historical use of firearms going back 500 years, really. And that's why I put this in here. It's a 500-year-old bronze cannon linked to the Francisco Vasquez de Coronado's expedition. So, that goes back a ways, don't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not that old. I realize you think I'm that old, but...
No. But I just love the fact that, and by the way, cannons to this day are not illegal to own. Sorry, Joe Biden. I remember when he said that. What a moron. Oh.
Maybe
This just
impractical
even
to own, but
Otolaryngology.
but not illegal.
Not illegal, that's right. And I remember when he was stating that. Well, now this just shows you right out. 500 years ago, they had cannons, and we still have cannons 500 years later, and they're not illegal to own, so you can have them.
Don't you think that if you got him in the right press conference, you can get him to admit he'd rather get rid of the Second Amendment than any other amendment?
Well, if you can keep him awake long enough, and you saw him in Africa, he probably couldn't even hold his attention that long. But, yeah, I mean, I can tell you right now, when you read the DNC's platform, that particular party, and Joe Biden has a history of voting against the Second Amendment. I think they'd like to do away with it.
And that's why Walz didn't even win his own home county.
That's right, because they know what he's like.
You can't take a good southern Minnesota guy out of southern Minnesota and have him get rid of the values and then expect everybody in southern Minnesota to embrace you again.
Exactly.
Sorry, it's not.
He signed plenty of anti-gun legislation as governor. So yeah, you can't fool everybody all of the time, and that was proven here in November.
Once you go in front of people, I mean, I'm not a gun owner. Okay, I can't take apart and put together a gun, but I'm not going to go on camera acting like I can and proving that I can. But I'll guarantee you, everybody like me can spot the fake a mile away.
Well. And I love it. We had a governor do it on our show. Mr. Kelly Armstrong showed Walz exactly how to use that firearm.
Therefore, he is qualified to be our next vice president.
Yes, he is. Hey, there we go.
32, 36. I mean...
Vice President Armstrong. There you go, Kelly.
Yeah. Come on, Kelly. And just don't forget us, okay?
There you go. Yep.
He once told me I made him sound better than he sounds in some of the news soundbite stuff, and... I hope he remembers saying that because it's true.
There you go. I need to find that clip.
And I only do that for people I like, by the way. That's not true. I've done that for people I don't like. I'm just teasing. 4 out of 5 ear doctors say what? Thanks, Tom. My neighbor Tom.
Yep.
You can always call it my neighbor Tom for a good comeback. Clay Peterson goes to the 701. It's 8:28, and we've got more coming up. Even when Clay and I are on, it never sounded so good. 844 at K-Fire. Todd Mitchell and Clay Peterson. It's Guns in the 701. Okay, I had our next story up here.
Well, I'll tell you what. I want to throw something in there quick.
Oh, yeah, throw something in there. Well, yeah, that's right. I had something else, too, but go ahead.
Well, we have our poll going on both Fascist Book and on Twitter, and it has to do with the North Dakota State Rifle. What would you like to see? And the lever action right now is leading, and between the two polls, and I averaged them 65.5%. They want the lever action, and a lot of people are talking about, of course, what I figured, the Teddy Roosevelt gun. And then it comes into bolt action at 29% and AR-15 8%. So go on there, hit our X and our Fascist Book, and go ahead and take that poll because it's going to end after today, and we'll kind of compile.
Are they going to be handing out Teddy Roosevelt guns at the new presidential library when that opens? Or
well, I would think they have to, but I have no clue.
I think Guns in the 701 should be out there. Have Guns in the 701 day, and everybody at stuff. The first 701 people who stop by get a Teddy Roosevelt gun. Okay, do it on April 1st and then make it something like a toy or
Oh,
something.
my goodness. So nice 1895, chambered in a 405. Yeah.
See, the sky's the limit on what you can do with that. Hey, what the CEO that got gunned down in New York City is the whole gun control crowd going to come out, and then are they forgetting about places like Chicago where there is gun control and yet more crime?
Oh, I'm sure that, some of them kind of have. They've already been attacking the suppressors because, you had a suppressor and that made it easier. PMS NBC was over there doing that, and I got to use an old Rush lingo there. But I
was going to say, can we still call him that? Because what would he call them since they went down to Mar-a-Lago right away?
I don't know.
What would he have called them? Because obviously he would have probably had some term or something.
Oh, he would have.
But whatever.
I miss listening to him.
I know. He went way too soon. He's one of those people that should have been lived to like 119 or something.
Yeah.
So we'd all be able to appreciate him. But
Rush's insight and commentary now would be just phenomenal.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, they did. They came out right away and attacked suppressors, the anti-gun crowd. And I imagine they're going to, let's not forget, New York City itself is pretty hard to even have a permit to carry. I mean, they're tough to get. You basically got to be somebody and not somebody like you or me. You got to have a lot of money to basically get a permit in New York City and be.
Yeah, it's not like plenty of it's not like plenty of other places where you got a gun, so what, If you want to carry and not have to be that responsible about it, then go to Texas or something. New York City's not for you because you're right. The bureaucracy you got to go through to be able to, and then when you do, it's like, oh, you have a gun.
Yep.
Well, yeah, because guess what? The idiot who's trying to kill me has one. That's why I have one. But
the criminals, they just, by nature being a criminal, they don't care. And as we saw it play out, we've seen what happened. And I still don't know what to think of that whole situation. I think it's more than random. I imagine there's some kind of a motive. Hopefully that'll come out. But it's sure reminiscent, like you and I were talking, of what happened in Vegas. And we still never got the details as to what happened there. And I have a feeling that's kind of what's going to happen.
If you outlaw guns, only outlaws will have guns. And it's true. I know it sounds catchy or whatever, but it's true.
Yep, absolutely.
Alabama City not enforcing its latest gun control ordinance either. What's going on down south there?
Well, they decided they didn't like Alabama's permitless carry law, which is basically that takes precedent over the county or the city, kind of like we have in North and South Dakota. So the city council said, no, we don't care. They adopted an ordinance that requires, get this, everyone who carries a gun, they also have to now have a photo ID on them. If they can't present a present and valid ID, then police are supposed to confiscate that firearm. Of course, that's illegal. Hold it for 30 days. The person who had it confiscated can go and try to get it back, but to do it, they have to not only provide their photo ID, imagine that, you don't need it for voting, but you need it for this, and then proof of legal ownership of the firearm, as well as forking over a $150 fine. So they take your right, they infringe it, tell you got to have a photo ID to get it back and exercise it. If you can't prove it's your gun, now, I don't know how many gun owners are out there still have every receipt from every firearm they've ever purchased, but I bet very few. And I mean, how are you going to actually prove it's yours unless you can request your 4473 form? Oh, but you can't do that probably unless you're law enforcement. Anyway, and then you got to give them $150 to get your own property back that they should have never seized to begin with. I mean, that's like a red flag law to the nth degree. Well, and then if you can't do that, they'll take your personal property, which I call civil asset forfeiture, and they'll destroy it in 30 days. Luckily, somebody down there said, nope, we're not going to do this. I don't know who it was, but they are not enforcing it right now, and that has caused a big stir within the city council. They want to have that ordinance rescinded, which they should, because it's going to be overturned in the courts anyway because of the preemption statute that Alabama already has. And the Attorney General down in Alabama sent them a letter and said, listen, you guys are violating the law. It's going to go to court. I mean, when you read the actual letter, he pretty much told them, get rid of the ordinance because you're never going to win this in court, and you're just going to cost your city thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars fighting it. And I was glad to see that someone stepped up and said that. No, we'll see where this plays out, but I imagine you got a couple leftists down there on that council, and they're going to fight this.
No. Well, it is the South, so Southern Democrats tend to be a little more conservative than, say, New York City. But
yeah, and it's Montgomery, and like every other city, you know how that goes.
True. 850 and K-Fire Clay Guns to the 701. So every once in a while you see that movie where somebody grabs a gun out of somebody's hand and points it at them. The tables turn. Does that happen in real life? Apparently it does.
Yeah, evidently it does down in Tennessee, Memphis, and I've been through there. That's a pretty good-sized place. Anyway, robbery victim, he basically turned a potential encounter into a self-defense success. I love how they keyed that, but this guy, they only call him the victim, and I couldn't get much more information on it. But the officers responded to this shooting outside of the Classic Inn on American Way down there. They found a man, when you love driving up on this, find a man suffering from multiple gunshot wounds and a woman with a gunshot wound to her upper arm. The man then was hospitalized. He was in critical condition. I had no report on that either. I couldn't find any status. And the woman sustained a non-critical injuries and then was released. The guy that was trying to be robbed, evidently this gal, and I don't know what shady idea was going on there, but he was there to meet her. She came out wrapped in a blanket and then got him to go behind the building. So that sounds a little bit sketchy to begin with.
Yeah. Nothing suspicious about that. Yeah.
Nah, nothing at all. And basically she was armed, and when she got him out of sight, basically out of public sight, there was another man there, and he had a gun. Well, you know how that escalated. Basically, they were trying to, rob him. So he threw his wallet and stuff on the ground. Said, nah, whatever. And then they must have heard a noise the way it sounded. He took advantage of that, the victim, and he got the gun away after the man tried to shoot at him, and then he shot at him. And essentially it was a happy ending because he did not sustain any injuries. The one guy ended up in the hospital. Charges were filed. And it was just a great example of be aware of your situation around you. And when you have the opportunity, maybe take advantage of that. And he was able to defend himself. So I thought that was an interesting story. I'd like to know a few more details, but there isn't a lot out
Just
there.
because a pretty woman wants to take you into a dark alley doesn't mean it's going to be fun. I mean, come on, use your head.
Use your head, the right one.
Yeah. I know what I did there. I knew it when I did it, but there we are.
And I got to say thank you right now to a new sponsor. I know, shameless plug, to Anvil Brand LLC, Barrel Horses and Training. So right outside of Bismarck, I believe, down that Lincoln area. So we want to thank them for coming on board.
And SchwannBuickGMC.com. If you're plugging one, I'm plugging one.
Absolutely.
Those are the 701s. So when do we get to see you on the app and stuff?
Well, we'll get this uploaded right away here. You can get on the iHeart app or the website. Go to Guns and 701 or K-Fire, Mitchell in the Morning, and you'll be able to get all the Guns and 701 you need.
There you have it. Right there at Fascist Book 2.
Yeah, you can go over there.
Well, it's not going away, let's face it. But
no, it's not.
We will all make fun of it, we'll all put it down, and we'll all use it. So there we are.
There you go.
Clay Peterson, Guns of the 701. Thanks. Have a great weekend.
You too, Todd. Thank you.
Ready, take care. 854.